Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I'm flying with United Airlines in domestic first class on a 777-200 to Los Angeles. Come join me. Special thanks again to Dashlane, who are sponsoring this video and making it possible. Keep your digital life secure and never forget a password again. As someone who travels a lot, I really value Dashlane's premium service. It's a state-of-the-art password manager that creates secure passwords and remembers them for every website you visit. It'll also monitor the dark web and alert you if it thinks your account's been hacked for added security. Whether it's logging into social media, doing your shopping, or booking yet another flight, Dashlane will keep you safe and secure and works across multiple devices. Viewers of this video can get 2 months free of premium by going to dashlane.com/Paul and entering code Paul at checkout. Now, back to the video. I'm travelling in domestic first class, so it's off to the Premier Access check-in areas. Premier Access is basically United's package of premium services available to those travelling in domestic first class or Star Alliance Gold members from different airlines in the Star Alliance. As well as priority check-in, baggage handling and boarding, it also comes with a dedicated security lane at selected airports. Fortunately, Denver was one of those. The security lines were really long when I travelled through the airport, likely due to some of the construction work that was going on. I have an irrational love for Denver Airport, but be warned, at over 137 square kilometres, it's the second largest in the world by surface area. The various concourses are really spread out and a transit train is necessary to get to most of them. Be warned, make sure you arrive in plenty of time and factor in a lot of walking. There are 2 United clubs at Denver Airport. First class tickets alone will not grant you access if you're travelling domestically. I was able to get in because I had Star Alliance Gold member access through Air New Zealand, another member of the Star Alliance. Everybody raves about the United Polaris lounges. Those are United's top-tier lounges found at their important intercontinental hubs in North America. I'll be trying one in a couple of weeks' time. However, normal United clubs like these ones here at Denver are pretty outdated. It was especially busy due to some poor weather and delays that were affecting Denver Airport when I travelled. But even so, I've always found the United clubs, which haven't been refurbished, to be rather insipid and uninspiring. All of that having been said, I was still pretty grateful to be granted access. The main terminal was fairly busy for the reasons I already mentioned. I wasn't planning on staying for long, and I didn't plan on eating in there either. There was a full meal that was going to be served on the aircraft for dinner. Just heading to the gate now. I'm really hoping that this flight is on time. It leaves here about 6:55 p.m. and doesn't arrive into LA until just after 9 p.m. local time. Now, I've actually got a flight tomorrow with Delta Airlines also from LA, so I really want to maximize my sleep overnight in Los Angeles so that I can have a fresh start tomorrow and start filming again. So fingers crossed it's going to be punctual. There was a big storm over the airport about 2 hours ago and a lot of flights got cancelled, but I can see that my flight inbound landed on time, so fingers crossed it should go well for me. Our aircraft today is a Boeing 777-200. Originally delivered to Continental Airlines in 1999, this airframe is around 20 years old. The paintwork looks like it's seen better days, but I assume United will be repainting this airframe into their new livery soon. At the next gate was a remnant of the previous day's inaugural service, United beginning service to Frankfurt with its Boeing 787 aircraft. Today's Boeing 777 used to see service on long-haul intercontinental routes, but as you'll find out, this aircraft is seriously outdated. It's hard to imagine that United, until very recently, flew this 8-across business class to long-haul destinations in Europe and in the Far East. I also have no idea why half the seats face backwards. It's not like this design saves any space whatsoever. If you know the answer to why these seats face backwards, let me know in the comment section below, because I'm genuinely interested. Still, this is a pretty good seat to get on a 2.5 hour long domestic flight in the US. Most of the aircraft that fly routes of this length only have recliner armchairs. These former long-haul business class seats will recline flat into a bed if you really want it, and they're also super comfortable. Prior to takeoff, passengers were offered the choice of drinks, and some headphones were also handed out for the in-flight entertainment. Taking off from Denver and flying west, we were lucky to avoid some of the storms that had plagued the airport earlier on in the day. For the first hour or so after you leave Denver, you cross the Rocky Mountains, so expect plenty of turbulence. Denver to Los Angeles is 861 miles, and our flight will take us 2 hours and 10 minutes today. This Boeing 777 is something of a time capsule to me. Continental took delivery of this aircraft in 1999 when I was barely a teenager and didn't even have my first spots. I could never have dreamt that I would ever have flown business class as a 13-year-old. I'd probably have been amazed by this product if I'd seen it online on some primitive website or perhaps in a magazine. But times change. On most domestic US carriers, you'll need to be travelling for at least a few hours before the airline will start giving you a complimentary meal in domestic first class. However, some routes and flights are exempt from this general rule, and this is one of the shorter flights that you'll find a full meal service on. The food and drink service began as we were passing over the Rocky Mountains, with a ramekin of warmed nuts and my choice, a gin and tonic, which is my go-to drink for pretty much any time of the day after lunch. Pretzel bread is something I really love, and I discovered my taste for it on aeroplanes. Do you have a food that you've only liked because you tasted it once on an aeroplane? Anyway, the main course on this flight was a tandoori chicken, which was absolutely delicious and well above what I expected on a domestic first class flight. I washed down the spice with a nice cool glass of white wine. I had some pretty lame experiences with United's catering last year when I travelled in the US, but I'm glad to say that my experiences this year have been totally different. All of the food that I was served on this flight and the others I've taken this year have been well above expectations. I find the big three American carriers, that's American Airlines, Delta and United, very competitive when it comes to in-flight entertainment. There were loads of options and you definitely won't get bored on a domestic flight. As a point of interest, during my now customary lavatory visit, I noticed that there's something called face mist that United have put on the toiletry shelf. I've got no idea what this is supposed to do or why it's even here, so I channeled my inner Paul Stewart and tried some. I have to say I still don't get it. Anyway, let's sum up this flight. This was a one-way domestic first-class ticket costing $270. That's about £219 sterling. Ordinarily, that's quite expensive for a one-way fare, but I was really happy to pay this because I was on a vintage 777 and I knew that when I booked the ticket. The flying experience on this aircraft is far superior to any of the competitors' narrow bodies which they fly between Denver and the West Coast. Overall, a good experience, and I definitely recommend this to anybody that wants a quirky business class product without shelling out too much money for the privilege. Thanks again to Dashlane for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget that you can get 2 months free of premium by going to dashlane.com/Paul and entering coupon code Paul at checkout. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.